everybody else but your damn self, man. Hey, look, you thought we forgot about the Georgia Guidestones because it miraculously disappeared or got blew up? Right. Hey, look, the first rule on the Georgia Guidestone was what? Maintain humanity at 500 million. All right? Right now, the population of the planet Earth is around 8 billion, if not 9 billion people. Yep. So that means this devil is thinking about how to kill off 8.5 billion people.
Yep. Bill Gates, he said it on a TED talk. He said if you can get a lot of people vaccinated or yabba dabba do, you know what I'm saying? we can control the population of the world. Like, what? I'd have been in the crowd like, hold on, what this nigga just say? You know what I'm saying?
That went over their head.
It went over their head. All right. So this devil is blatantly outright telling you what his plan is.
Yeah, because it's easier to control 500 million people.
I asked the top scientists on this several times, do we really have to get down to near zero? Can't we just, cut it in half or a quarter? And the answer is that until we get near to zero, the temperature will continue to rise. And so that's a big challenge. It's very different than saying, we're a 12-foot high truck trying to get under a 10-foot bridge and we can just sort of squeeze under. This is something that has to get to zero. Now, we put out a lot of carbon dioxide every year, over 26 billion tons. For each American, it's about 20 tons. For people in poor countries, it's less than 1 ton. It's an average about 5 tons for everyone on the planet. And somehow we have to make changes that will bring that down to zero. It's been constantly going up. It's only various economic changes that have even flattened it at all. So we have to go from rapidly rising to falling and falling all the way to zero. This equation has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Bahashem. Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Blessings and safety to the Lord's elect, man. All right. And hey, this devil, man, he's about to, as the scriptures say, man, come down having great wrath. All right. That great wrath, all right, is coming due to him knowing that his kingdom is about to get took and destroyed. All right. So before that takes place, he's going to tap into that blessing. All right. You can read Genesis, the 27th chapter. Matter of fact, let me go to that real quick. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27. Verse 39, it says, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live. All right. So This is, Esau receiving that blessing from Isaac. All right. And that blessing, is the sword, man. All right. Now, when you go into Revelations, the 6th chapter, it talks about that red horse, which that red horse represents Esau. It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And this is why, everyone on the planet Earth is mourning, man. It only proves that Esau is the one that's in power. But then the scripture said, and there was given unto him a great sword, man. And that sword, you have different forms of that sword, man. You got biological warfare, which he's tapping into that right now. All right. You have his missiles. You have the gun. All right. He's about to usher in a famine, which that famine is being, regulated by him. He's about to starve you niggas out, man. That's a part of that sword, man. Okay. So, hey, man, what you see in front of you is a picture of the Georgia Guidestones, man. And that rule number 1, it says maintain humanity under 500 million. So this devil, he wants the population to be at 500 million. And he wants to maintain it at 500 million. All right. And he wants to murder off the masses, man. All right. And he's been doing so. All right. By putting, GMOs, chemicals into the food, man. All right. That's called what? Slow poisoning. Matter of fact, let's look that up. All right. Now, when you go into that word slow poison, it says a slow poison is a substance that harms a person gradually over a long period of time, rather than causing immediate illness or death. See, if Esau will put some shit into the food that instantly kills you, then guess what? He will be responsible. Okay? But see, he put these chemicals into the food, and those chemicals gradually, kills you, or gradually, make you sick. You can't point the finger at him. It says literally a toxic substance that slowly damages the body over weeks, months, or years. All right. So this is one tactic, this devil used. Okay. He got Planned Parenthoods where he influenced, the Israelite women to go and abort the little Israelite babies. Okay. He pushes homosexuality on our people. 2 men can't reproduce, or 2 women can't reproduce, man. He really wants to get rid of Jake, all right? As the scriptures say, his eyes are privately set against the poor. The scriptures also mention the perpetual hatred, which when you go into that word perpetual, is never ending. And in Genesis, the 27th chapter, he says what, man? The days of my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. This devil, he's still in the same mind frame. All right, So this devil, man, he's about to get busy, man. Okay, he's about to get busy. All right, and it's ultimately Yahweh Shemi Awashah. All right, the different plagues. The Ebola. You got the Hannah Montana. Okay, you had the C-19. All right, you have a lot of different, plagues that this devil is whipping up in the labs, man. And then he unleashing them. Okay? So, this devil, man, he's about to, come out sword swinging, man. Okay? And we're going to need Yahweh Shemi Awashah to be with us. And that's why the scriptures say, except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. Before the elect's sake, the days shall be shortened. So the Lord is shortening these days by bringing these prophecies to pass, because at the rate that this devil going, man, he's going to destroy humanity, including himself, man. Okay? But the Lord, he promised to deliver a small remnant. All right? And that remnant is of the nation of Israel. All right. But let me get a quick precept. Second Corinthians 2:11. All right. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. It says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. So we know exactly what this devil is planning on doing. We know that he wants to murder off a mass majority of the population, man. We know he wants to, hey, and I want to say this too, man. You people who went and took those jump shots, man, it was said that, individuals who took that jump shot was going to soon, drop dead, man. I'm just, reporting, the article that came out, about a year back, 2 years ago, man. It was going to tell you people who took that jump shot was going to, get synthetic blood clots and pretty much have heart attacks and shit, man. This is not, mis medical information. I'm just reporting, or I'm just, giving my opinion on the matter. I'm not making any money off of this. Okay? I'm just doing what it do, So we're not in the darkness of what this devil is trying to accomplish, man. All right, and one thing that we do know, that this devil, he's going to accomplish some things before you leave, man. He's not going to, accomplish, everything that his heart desires. Okay, he has a line that he's not going to pass, right? And I'm gonna grab that. This is Job 14 and 5. And it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed bounds that he cannot pass. So Esau has, boundary on the things he's going to accomplish. Okay, he think he's going to, murder off, majority of the population. All right, he's going to start this war. He's going to be in a bunker. And after these missiles, milk the people on the planet Earth, he's gonna come stretching, out the bunker, and man, that's not gonna happen, man. Maybe on one of your movies, man, okay, but not in the Lord's book, man, the Lord's movie. This movie is going exactly how the Lord planned it to go, and that's you losing your kingdom, you going into slavery. All right. So, this devil, man, he's about to, accomplish some things, okay? As far as, sword swinging and, putting a lot of people to death. But remember, he's the sword of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. And this is all the will of the Lord, man. But this is why we need Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah to protect us. This is Psalm 17 and 13. It says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. And we're hoping and praying that the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah cast this devil down, man. Okay, so the world can be a better place. Okay. It says, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, man. So we asking the Lord to deliver us from Esau Edom. And the scriptures say that he doesn't bear the sword in vain. Okay, that's his blessing. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah is going to use this devil to bring mass judgment in the earth. But ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah gets the credit. But hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to end giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Till next time, Shalom, and the Bible Ball.